The national politics continues to remain volatile since the dissolution of the House of Representatives last month. The government move is being challenged in the top court, while the Election Commission is yet to decide on the ownership battle of the two factions of the ruling Nepal Communist Party. In another development yesterday, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli was summoned by the Supreme Court pertaining to the contempt of court case. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. The Supreme Court asks Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to file a written clarification in the contempt of court case within 7 days. A study reveals that the corruption index in Nepal is on the rise, weakening efforts to control the pandemic. Good governance suffers amid increased power abuse and corruption. A new coronavirus vaccine, Novavax, shown to be 89.3% effective in large-scale UK trials. The jab first to show it is effective against the new variant of the virus discovered in the UK. And defending champions Liverpool climbed to the 4th spot of the English Premier League points table with a 3-1 victory over Tottenham Hotspur. The Supreme Court has asked Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to file a written clarification in the contempt of court case within 7 days. A single bench of Justice Manoj Kumar Sharma issued the order yesterday in a contempt of court case filed against the Prime Minister. Law practitioners had filed a contempt of court case at the Supreme Court against Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli earlier this week on Monday, charging him of indecent remarks aimed at legal practitioners with the intention of influencing a sub judice case. Likewise, the bench also ordered former Chief Justices Meen Bahadur Rahemaji, Anup Raj Sharma, Kalyan Shrestha and Sushila Karki to submit a written clarification in a similar contempt of court case. Meanwhile, the bench also ordered former Speaker Damannath Dhungana to submit a written clarification in another contempt of court case. Separate cases of contempt of court were also filed against former Chief Justices and former Speaker, alleging that their comments on the case being heard were indecent. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli never stops claiming publicly that corruption has been controlled in the country. However, an international study has shown that corruption is on the rise in Nepal. In terms of good governance, Nepal has slipped 4 places in comparison to last year at 117th position. We have more in this report.
The Transparency International released its Global Governance Index on Thursday as Denmark and New Zealand led the list with 88 points. However, Nepal lags behind in the Good Governance Index, garnering 33 points and placed at 117th position. Nepal was ranked 113th last year. According to the global corruption watchdog, a score below 50 indicates that the corruption is rampant in the country, indicating that Nepal has not even made an average effort to control corruption. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has been claiming from the public forums that the government has successfully controlled corruption in the country. However, in the survey conducted among the 180 countries, Nepal's current position shows that corruption is on the rise in the country. No guilty party has been subjected to any action in several scams, including procurement of medical equipment in controlling pandemic and Lalita Niwas land scam, among others. There are reports of public having to cough up bribes to furnish even petty works at government offices. This scenario has severely dented the country's image all these years. There are legal provisions and institutional structures to control corruption in the country. However, the state of good governance has not improved in the past 7 years, as Nepal has languished in and around the 116th position in the Global Corruption Index. The scenario hints at a feeble role played by state bodies with their jurisdiction to curb corruption in the country.
In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the local residents in Salyan what could be the reason behind widespread irregularities and corruption in the country. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
योजनाहरू गर्दाखेरि तय गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ केही प्रतिशत राखेर गर्ने हैन त्यस्तो कुराहरूले गर्दा पनि भ्रष्टाचार बढेको देखिन्छ
जति छ आफ्नैलाई सब जागिरी खुवाउन पाए हुँदो भन्ने अगाडि बढाउने उहाँहरुको छ अब यस्तै छ गाउँ घरमा अब सबभन्दा त अब शिक्षा कमीले पनि सबै कुरा उ छ के
कुर्सीको मात्रै स्वार्थ लिने र जनतामाथि कतै उत्तरदायी नहुनको कारणले हामी जनताले सारै दुःख पाइरहेका छौं
भइरहेको जो नराम्रो कुराहरु त्यो प्रत्यक्ष भन्न नसक्ने कारणले पनि त्यो त्यस्तो लाग्छ मलाई
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. And here's the question. Who do you hold responsible for the failure to control corruption? Your options are A, political leadership, B, bureaucracy, and C, civil society. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news. Tribhuvan Army Club have made it to the finals of the Prime Minister Cup one-day cricket tournament for the fourth consecutive time. In the second semi-final played at the Tribhuvan University Cricket Ground in Kantipur yesterday, Tribhuvan Army registered a commanding 94-run victory over Bagmati Province. With the win, Tribhuvan Army have set up a title clash against armed police force. Sent into bat first, Tribhuvan Army Club made a disastrous start, losing 2 wickets with only 2 runs on the board. Army lost another quick wicket as they were reduced to 17 runs for the loss of 3 wickets. Bhim Sarki and Lokesh Bom tried to revive the innings with a 56-run partnership. Bhim Sarki contributed 40 runs while Lokesh Bom added 23. Following 3 quick wickets, Rajesh Pulami and Bikram Saab added 92 runs for the 7th wicket partnership to take the total beyond the 200 mark. Rajesh Pulami top scored with 65 runs while Bikram contributed 35 runs. Gautam Kesi grabbed 5 wickets for Bagmati Province. In reply, Bagmati Province were bundled out for 135 runs in 41 overs. Bagmati at one stage were reeling at 18 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. Gyanendra Molla top scored for Bagmati with 47 runs, but with no further assistance as Bagmati surrendered the match tamely. Jitendra Mukhia was the most successful Army bowler with 4 wickets. Tribhuvan Army Club will now clash against armed police force in tomorrow's final. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.